Growing up in a quaint little hamlet surrounded by vast woods had its share of perks and quirks. As a child, my playground was the endless expanse of nature's embrace. One summer, which now seems like several lifetimes ago, I found myself at the cusp of an experience that would shape the person I would become. This is the story of that summer, the summer I built a path through the woods. It was the start of my teenage years, and with that came a thrust of independence and a thirst for adventure. Much to my mother's despair, I was never one to sit still. "You have ants in your pants," she'd say, seeing me fidget at the breakfast table. My father, on the other hand, encouraged my explorative spirits, perhaps seeing a bit of his younger self in me. One morning, armed with a rudimentary map, a sandwich packed by my mom, and a hefty dose of naive courage, I set off into the woods. My goal was simple: to create a walking path that would lead straight to the hidden lake I had discovered during one of my previous escapades. This lake, untouched and serene, was my secret haven, but the journey was riddled with dense underbrush and thorny vines, making it accessible only to those willing to bear minor battle scars. Day after day, I worked with my old rusty hatchet and a pair of worn gloves. I would clear twigs, cut through overgrown bushes, and mark trees with strips of red fabric. The work was tough, especially for a young teenager, and there were moments when I thought about giving up. Why was I even doing this? Who would it benefit? Wouldn't it be easier just to enjoy the lake alone, accessible only through the rough, secretive trails I knew by heart? But then one day, as I sat on a nearly felled log, panting and swiping the sweat from my brow, I heard laughter. Two younger kids from my village stumbled through part of my still clumsy path, arguing about whether frogs could be friends with fish. Watching them navigate the path with ease, excitement on their faces as they headed towards the lake, my doubts cleared. This path wasn't just for me. It was a passage for anyone brave enough to explore, to seek beauty and solitude, and perhaps to find a new friend in an unexpected place. The days rolled on, and the path slowly took shape. I corrected course in places, making sure it was safe and welcoming. I built small wooden signs pointing the direction and distance to the lake 500 meters. I painted stones with bright colors and placed them along the sidelines, adding a whimsical touch to my otherwise rugged trail. It was nearing the end of summer when I finally finished. The path was beautiful in its rustic charm and practicality. To celebrate, I invited my parents to walk the path with me to the lake. Though hesitant at first, seeing the skepticism in their eyes turn into wonder was a gift larger than any applause. My mother, who feared the woods, held my hand tight and whispered, "I never knew this was here. You've done something wonderful, dear." My father, always the man of few words, clapped me on the shoulder with pride. Looking back, that summer taught me values that textbooks and tutors couldn't. I learned about determination, community, and the deep satisfaction of creating something lasting. The funny thing about paths is that once they are laid down, they tend to grow beyond their original intentions. My path through the woods became a favorite trail for joggers and a classroom for biology teachers. Years have passed since then, and life has taken me to many places, cities mostly, where woods are confined to parks and lakes are rare. Yet, that path through the woods remains a vivid symbol in my life, a reminder that sometimes to move forward, all we need is to start with a single step, clear a little ground, and invite others to join the journey.